going to be struggling. Tabs up here. Down. And the top releases. Then you press the bottom one. And then it should release. The top one comes out. So we're back with the 18 F350. So the reason we brought it back here is because we're going to be taking a lot of this apart to change the frame rails. So we won't be able to just cut and weld it a new piece because of this over here. So over here by the engine support, well, where it connects to the engine, it's kinked. So we won't really be able to pull that out. Well, some people do, but that's not the preferred way of fixing it. So we're gonna change the whole entire frame rails. So we found the whole frame rail for the same price as just the front frame rail. So we're gonna replace the whole entire thing, which is better than just cutting and welding it and then hoping that it aligns. So at least we know it will align after we replace the whole entire frame rail. So we're just gonna be taking all these harnesses off. We already got most of it done. So we took out the battery tray, and the intake. And most of these harnesses are just clips that you just pop off from the frame, well, the apron or whatever you want to call this. And we still got to do that side. Alright, so we got the new frame backed up into where it's gonna be, and then we're gonna transfer everything over one by one, starting with the rear axle, the drive shaft, and then probably putting the engine onto here, and then doing the front axles afterwards, and then the front cab next, and then the truck bed afterwards. So we were able to get the frame unloaded from the trailer. We thought it was gonna be a lot harder, but we just put the wheel dollies on the back and held the front up with the engine hoist. So that was we thought that's gonna be the hardest part, but now we just have to transfer all this over. So while we were trying to figure out how to get that back here, we went ahead and labeled all the harnesses just so we know where each one goes, just so we're double sure. So the harness itself isn't going to be too hard. It'll just have to be, the hard part will be changing the engine over, which will might make our own Genty crane. But besides that, everything else is sort of ready to go. So we have the rear axle on the wheel dollies, so we can just slide everything over instead of having to turn the wheels to get it to align with that. So we're gonna use the wheel dollies instead to roll it on the plywood and get it aligned onto the new frame. So first, we gotta remove the gas tank since it'll be in the way of removing this bolt right here. This side we already have taken off, and the wheel is just holding onto this part. So we just have to get rid of that side. The brake line's already disconnected, and we have to do the other side. So what first we're gonna do is drop the tank and the DEF fluid. So I've disconnected this gas line that goes up to the front of the truck towards the engine. Same thing with this one. So this one, you just have to pull this tab and this one on the bottom. Same thing with the other side. In order to remove this, I removed it completely just so it wouldn't get stuck in between that little groove. And on this one, you have to pull this part up first and then press this down. Otherwise, it'll hold on to it sort of like that. So you have to pull this part up first. So this part up first. And then the bottom part, you just press down. And this should go down and bring that bottom part down. So on the bottom, it looks like there is one harness, and probably these clips will be holding on this shield. I'm not sure if the gas tank sits on the shield or the gas tank is mounted up to the top. So I'll put some jack stands on here, or the jack, and then see if the tank will come down with this little shield or if it'll stay up. Okay, so I got the shield off, so that comes off separately. Those ones are held by bolts that go all the way up here. There's one on this side, two on the other. I believe it's one on both sides, and it's just a bracket that holds the shield. So for the tank itself, it's held on by these sort of like metal straps, steel straps. So there's only, I believe, 4 bolts for these. This one you have to hold both sides, otherwise it'll spin both sides. The other side's sort of the same thing, just 2 bolts on both sides. But for the most part, it's not too hard to do, because I gotta make sure that all the harnesses and stuff, like the brake lines and stuff, are disconnected from the gas tank itself. Otherwise, you're gonna pull it down with it. first is taking off the exhaust first, so we can get to this back bolt with the leaf spring. So we have this side loosened.
Close till I get up, time is barely on our side.
I have the leaf springs disconnected from the frame, so I'll be able to slide all this over using the wheel dollies over to the new frame. So it'll be a little more easier than just turning the wheels and having to align it over there. And we can use the wheel dollies to slide it sideways over there and then just jack it up.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on. Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on
So we got the cab on thanks to the forklift. We picked up on one side as we dropped up the other side with my dad and his friends. They helped us out. So the cab is on there, onto the frame. All 4 bolts on each corner is on. The center one should align pretty easily, but the cab is on. The old frame is in the back. Transferred it all over.